Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're not going to be doing a tank review. In fact, we're going to be looking at the March update, which is update 10.7 that is officially released today. Now I'm just seeing this video now. I was at work when it was released. So although I haven't seen the official video, I have seen and heard from a couple of my friends on what's actually coming in the update. So I guess we're going to find out fully what's actually coming in this update from Wargaming now. But I do already have an idea of what is planned. And we'll be taking a look and talking about it right now. So let's get right into it.
Update 10.7 in World of Tanks Blitz is launching on March 6th. And it offers visual enhancements, balance changes, and one long-awaited improvement we've been working on for quite a while. Let's get down to it. The P44 Pantera will improve its reload time while getting a small boost in engine power and hull rotation speed.
Okay, so this update, as said right here, the Pantera is getting a buff with its DPM and mobility. So is it going to make the tank stronger than the Progetto 46? That's like the main question for me, because as of right now, or I guess as of before the update, the Progetto 46, in my opinion, was better than this tank. But it does seem like they're giving it a decent amount of DPM increase, especially since they're taking time off of all of its shells, I believe. Yes, off of all of its shells. So whether or not it's going to make it better than the Progetto 46, I'm unsure right now. I'll probably take a look at it soon, and yeah.
The IS-4 will become a faster shooter, so you can inflict more damage in battle. On top of that,
same thing with the IS-4. Now, the thing with the IS-4 is, I don't know if it really, this DPM buff, it's nice and all to give a tank more DPM, but I don't think it's really going to change much about the tank, considering, the tank already has decent DPM as it is. So you're not really going to notice a big playstyle increase. It's not going to be something like meta changing or anything like that to the IS-4, in my opinion. So yeah.
All the tanks in its research branch, starting with the KV3, will receive the engine power boost consumable. Use it to make
Oh, okay. Well, this is something I wasn't aware of. So yeah, apparently the whole line from tier 7 to 10 is getting the engine power boost consumable. That's kind of weird, honestly. It seems like, okay, so this is first thoughts of this. The IS-4 seems to be the E5. Okay, so the E5 used to have the engine power consumable. They got rid of it, but they kept its mobility fairly good, but then they gave it more armor. This tank, they removed its armor, and now they're making it faster and have a bit more DPM. It's like they're role reversing the tanks. I don't really understand that, if I'm being honest. I feel like the IS-4 kind of just needs its armor back. I kind of wish it just still had strong armor and still wish it was slower. I don't really think these changes make much sense to me. Although maybe for the lower tiers it's more worth. The tier 8 and 7 might actually be really nice. I know the KV4 is super heavy and slow. So actually maybe in game modes the speed boost might be pretty fun. You just ram people for so much damage. But for the IS-4 itself, I don't know how these changes are really going to benefit. Okay, it's cool that the tank is now going to be able to get into its position faster, but that also removes the use of another repair kit. I don't know if you're now going to want to run adrenaline and speed boost over double repair. That's something that I'm not too sure about. But we'll see how it plays out. Again, I haven't tested any of these tanks yet, so I'm going to test these out later and actually find out for myself if my opinions are now wrong once I play them, or if they're still correct.
Sure you reach key spots faster. From March 7th until March 10th, you can earn by rooting for your favorite teams. Watch tournament broadcasts to receive fan coins. Gather enough of them and get access to our special draw and fan containers.
Okay, so this is pretty good. I mean, they do this every season in comp. Since I'm not playing this season, I might actually watch these streams because season coins are actually really useful. If you save up enough of them, you can get your hands on some pretty cool tanks. Like, I know the Lorraine Fearless is out right now for 25,000 season coins. I personally don't have enough for it, but that's not the end of the world. I know also the T77 is out for season coins. Excuse me. And that tank is really, really strong. So if you do actually save up enough season coins, I'd recommend getting that instead. And also, because it's a free thing you can do, like if you have an extra device, you can basically just pull up the streams. You don't even need to like be participating, like actually watching them. You can sort of just have a second device on standby and kind of just have the stream on it. And I mean, it's, again, free rewards are free rewards. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. So since I'm not playing comp this season, I might actually just do that and get some free season coins.
As we progress through the month, you'll have the chance to get a hold of the epic Elephant Tank Destroyer. Join the special event from March 15th to March 25th and seize this historical vehicle, a dedicated avatar, and other rewards.
Okay, so the Elephant... I know a little bit about its stats, so it's basically just... Okay, so first off, it looks like the Ferdinand, just with a fatter gun. And honestly, the camo looks pretty sick, I will say. I like the extra logs and netting and stuff on the side, and honestly, the paint itself looks pretty cool. I'm kind of glad they released a historical camo for this tank. I don't think a weird, like, funky camo would make much sense with this tank. But in terms of its actual stats... Basically, what I'm going to say is if this tank is not free, if you are going to have to buy this tank, don't. It's not going to be worth it. The Jag Tiger 8.8, which is the Tier 8 German tank destroyer premium that's already available and has been for a long time, is pretty much better than this thing in every single way. Its armor is much stronger, and overall, its gun has a bit more DPM, so there's just basically no point in owning this tank, unless you, of course, are a collector and you just want to collect every tank in the game for whatever reason. But if it is free, then that's really quite cool, because Tier 8 premiums that are free are, again, free. Like, it's there's nothing wrong with that. But again, I would not recommend you spend money to get this tank. It's just not going to be worth your time or money.
The AMX M4 MLE45, the T22 Medium, and the T62A will now...
I'm sorry, what? The T62? What was that? That's some AI voicing there. I don't know what's going on with that. But yes, these three tanks are getting PBR, and it's something I'm really looking forward to. I think the T22 especially has needed PBR, like, badly. Its textures were so pixely, and especially, like, the tracks looked like they were, like a 90-degree angle. It looked awful. The other two tanks, of course, also are going to be really nice looking in PBR. Now, the 62A, or as they said, the 62A, is losing a degree of gun depression. Now, whether that's really going to affect the tank or not it's up in the air. I'm not sure. Obviously, losing gun depression is not good, but it's only a degree, and this tank also used to have 6 degrees, so it's kind of just getting reverted back to what it was before. I don't think any of these tanks are getting any armor changes, from what I'm aware. It's the PBR is just strictly for making the tanks look better. But yeah, anyways.
Now boast high-quality textures. The IS-4 and the SMV CC64 will also introduce new skins.
Right, so I did actually forget about this. So the IS-4 is getting a really cool looking camo. I'm not sure about how everyone's going to think about this camo, because it's not, like, historical and whatnot. But it looks like the 50B camo that's in the game already, except it has red, like, glowy stuff instead of blue. And I think that the camo looks really, really, really cool. I'm a big fan of this, and I'm really excited to I'm probably going to end up buying it. But I also like the animation that comes with it, like the little, like, moving rocks and stuff. I think it looks really cool. And as for the other camo as well, which I will go back to here, this camo also looks really sick. This one's a more, I don't know if I'd call this historical, because, like, there's a crane on the back of it, but it sure looks cool. And all the extra accessories that are on it are really... I think it's a good tank to have a legendary camo for like this.
We'll also introduce new skins, while the former will feature a brand new shot animation. And finally, the Matchmaker. It's always been a highly debated topic, and we've received numerous comments about its inadequacies and suggestions on how to improve it so that it's fairer and more transparent. We've been thoroughly working through your feedback, and while achieving perfect balance is an impossible task, we are undeterred in our efforts. The current balance has always followed two main rules. 1. New players can't immediately face off against the game's veterans.
So basically right here, they're just sort of explaining the current matchmaking. And right here, as far as I know, this is just based on the noob matchmaker, which we all know is in the game by now. It has been forever. And it's basically where if you're under 5,000 games, excuse me, if you're under 5,000 games, you basically put into a different matchmaker. So anyone who does like re-rolling or has a re-roll account with like crazy high stats, it's because they're fighting bots who don't know how to play the game. This is, again, it's not really anything new.
2. Players showing their worst results in a series of battles are placed in a separate queue for battle entry, giving them the chance to improve their gameplay. In Update 10.7, we're going a step further by implementing a new rule in the regular battle balancer. For players with 5,000 battles or more, this new rule will ensure teams are assembled in a more balanced way, with every player's skills and experience level in mind. To do that, the game will consider such factors as the ability to perform effective actions in battle, dealing and blocking damage, spotting, survival, and winning. This adjustment aims to gather more evenly matched teams for every battle, equalizing the chances of winning for both teams and resulting in battles that are more competitive, engaging, fair, and of course, a bit more challenging. The rules of the new matchmaker will be less strict than the rating battles. The difficulty of regular battles will still not be as high as in the rating mode.
Okay, so here's where things get a little bit interesting. So as they've said in the video, they're announcing a new update to the matchmaker. Now, again, what they're trying to do with it is make the teams more even and balanced and fair, which really needs to happen. I literally the other day, I think the last time I played, here you can see it here, me and Droodles were platooning, and like we just could not lose. Like, it was ridiculous. All the teams we were getting were just 7-0s, and the games that we did lose were also 7-0s, just in the other direction. It's been such a big problem for the last few months in this game, and it really makes the game unenjoyable because your games are over in like 2 to 3 minutes. You either get out like no damage and instantly die and get steamrolled, or you deal no damage and your team steamrolls. Like, there's basically, if you're playing in a heavy tank, like, good luck doing damage is what I'm trying to say. So Wargaming really, really needs to step up their game with the matchmaking. And from what it seems like, they're trying to address this issue by making it more like ratings. Now, whether that's a good thing, I'm actually quite unsure. So first off, this update will be in the game. This matchmaking update will be in the game tomorrow. I know some people think it's going to be out today, but it just isn't. So Wargaming said that it'll be out on the 7th, which is tomorrow. So, as I said, this update's going to be similar to what the ratings matchmaking is like already. Now, they said it's going to be less strict, but the problem with that is ratings is already crap. Like, the players you are fighting are not exactly much more skilled than the pub players, like the normal mode players you're fighting already. So making it less strict than ratings, I don't feel like from that wording it's going to be much of a difference. Especially because they talk about how, like, I don't know, it's pretty strange. I'll let the video explain it.
We will closely monitor the game metrics to ensure that battles are assembled as quickly as possible. If a player experiences extended wait times to enter a battle, the rules will be lightened to facilitate quicker battle entry.
So right there, what they're saying is that if there aren't enough good players on each team in a queue, like let's say you're trying to get into a tier 10 game and the matchmaking is trying to set you up with equal skilled opponents, If that doesn't happen, then they're just going to let more newer players or less skilled players back into your matchmaking as if it was just more random like it already is now. So again, I don't know how much this is actually going to help, simply because if they're allowing it to still give you like random, like, gonna be honest, bad players on your team still, because personally for me, I don't think there's going to be enough people in queue to actually make a difference, simply because the game just isn't big enough for this sort of thing. Like ratings, for example, I know it's more strict than this, but ratings queue times used to be so bad, up until they made it where players in lower leagues could join you. So again, I think it's going to be the same thing as this. You're not really going to notice much of a difference. You might notice a little bit that, like, you might be getting a bit more like higher win rate players against you, but I don't know how this is fully going to work. And also, now that I think about it, how are they going to balance out the win rates? Because let's say they put like, or let's say a couple of 50%ers are in the queue at once, and you are like a 60%er like myself, or 70%er. How are they going to balance that out? If there's not enough like 50%ers, are they then just going to put you as a 70%er on the same team as like 40%ers? Like, I know they're trying to block out those players from even getting into the matchmaking that you're in to begin with, but then like, are those two 50%ers going to get like another higher win rate player to kind of balance out your 70% win rate? Like, I'm not sure how that's going to work, and it kind of leaves me, I'm a little bit unsure. So I guess we'll wait and see what tomorrow brings. But as of right now, I'm not optimistic, let's put it that way. I'm basically in a mindset where we'll wait and see what happens. The matchmaker, in my eyes, I don't see it changing a whole lot. But again, I'll wait and see what happens. I'm going to keep an open mind, and if my opinion is wrong, then so be it.
We believe that the new Matchmaker gives all users the opportunity to play better and better. And a tiny side note, despite these changes, the Matchmaker for fun modes will continue to operate on a completely randomized basis.
Okay, I mean, that makes sense. It's a fun mode. No one cares about stats. No one cares about how bad players are. So that's good to know.
So, buckle up and get ready to roll.
All right, well, there we have it. Pretty solid video. And I'm actually pretty excited. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm looking forward to seeing how the matchmaker changes, and if it actually improves. If it does, then that's amazing and good for Wargaming for actually continuing to try and improve upon the matchmaker. Even if it doesn't really change a whole lot, I mean, it's whatever. At least they are putting some effort into the matchmaker, and they are listening after all the hate Wargaming gets for their matchmaking, which is valid. I'm one of the people who hates it. But yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.